wonder why we're back with Dr. Hill. Call me suspicious as to why he's here. Good evening, Lead Ray. Hello everyone. A little bit of a late start. I was sleeping, admittedly, until about 20 minutes ago. And I'll be honest, in those 20 minutes I would have been on a little bit earlier. But I was debating whether I wanted to stream tonight. I thought, no, I should stream on another night. And I thought, maybe doing a stream will either wake me up, which will be good because I need to be awake more for these kind of streams at this time, because this is my streaming time. But also, I do want to get to the bottom of this and see how many of our wonderful companions I accidentally kill. Like I say, mood is a little bit up and down at the moment currently. Fluctuating. I have tea. I have some juice. And hopefully tonight will be a good one. I hope everyone is doing okay. I'm hopefully going to be finishing up until dawn tonight. Crater. Oh, Crater. Hello, Crater. Yes, I'm aware that Crater might potentially not be in the stream because of the issues that he is currently going through regarding tech. Oh, okay. He's lurking because his hand hurts. Well, that needs to be rested, so... Nedry will be along after he's freshened up a bit. It's absolutely fine. Again, I do apologise, I'm just waking myself up a little bit. Eyes are a little sore, and it will just be nice to... Sounding a bit tired tonight. Forgot that you have an on-screen keyboard, Crater, that's adorable. That's absolutely adorable. Yeah, I am a little tired. It was one of those things where I very nearly did think I was so debating it. I thought maybe I should just not stream tonight and maybe stream tomorrow when I'm a bit more awake, because I went for a nap. I was busy during the day due to family obligations and such. And as a result of that, I didn't nap earlier that I wanted to. Oh my goodness, Lambo, it's the boy. It is the boy. Hello, Chimp Pimp 87. Hello. Maybe sure to stream so rest earlier. Mayhaps. It depends how long the stream goes for. Depends how long it is, because apparently this is the last... Evening, Crayon. Evening, Lambo, but depending on how the stream lasts, the game doesn't seem to be particularly long. There doesn't seem to be much left. We're coming up to the last hour until dawn. Elidre, thank you so much for the 100 bits and the Melting Snowman. Very apt for this game. I was also torturing myself early by looking at Until Dawn fan art. Hello Epic, thank you for joining. And the amount of artwork of Josh with like the ghosts of his sisters either being emotional, like cute, or emotional as in just like, oh my god, my poor freaking heart. Also drawing comfort characters, so looking for that, and also emotions. Emotions, yes. But yeah, I'm also hoping that when I get this stream, I'm going to try and get this stream done tonight. It won't be like I did with Deathmark, where it was a case of I had to finish it that Sunday. You think you broke Crater when you showed him the shirt? Which shirt was that one? He bought one of your shirts. Oh my goodness. Oh! That reminds me, Crater, please link your Redbubble down below, please. And if you don't, can someone who has a link for Crater's Redbubble share it? Because, yes. And Tuesday we'll be looking into more people's Redbubbles. Well, it's funny because if you mention a Redbubble, I have myself a Redbubble. That's right, if you would like to buy yourself a piece of spooky merchandise, and I mean spooky as in spooky me, merchandise from my wonderful store and everything, the link to my Redbubble is listed down below. Now, also, with everything that's been going on, I put a new mask design up on my Redbubble. Also, not just that, but that's like the best moment of your week. Yeah, again, Crater, I'm apologising that I haven't been able to get anything yet. Yeah, everything's a bit of a mess. Because I did want to share a bit of good news. The one with the mouth, yes. The reason being why I got the one with the mouth one is because when you put it on, it will give you like a jack-o'-lantern type grin. I thought that would look pretty awesome, because when I was looking at it, I thought, you're wearing face masks and it's near Halloween. I want to put something spooky on it. I would have drawn like an absolute shed ton of them, you know, like fucking, you know, like Wendigo mouths and things like that, like freaking, like the ones you see in Until Dawn when they've got them with all the fucking teeth on the side. But I decided against that, and I just went for something simple and, you know, like jack-o'-lantern type inspired. Spooktober is coming. Well, yes, I'm always partial because I'm rather fond of it, because I share my birthday with the day before Halloween. So it's going to sound a bit sappy, but because I never really had many people that were friends with me when I was in school, when I was younger, and I didn't have any childhood friends, whenever Halloween came around, it kind of felt like everyone in the world was having a celebration because I was born. Like it was my birthday. And I don't know, it's sappy, but it's just the way that just those little comfort things carry you through, you know. Also, Alidre, thank you so much for sharing the link. Guys, if you could check that out, I would very much appreciate it. Also, I've said this before and I've said this again, but if you can, Possessed Lover 94, he's currently streaming at this moment in time. He's streaming a little bit later than he usually does. Usually he streams on a Friday. But if you know anyone or if you're in any chats and you can share and promote him, then by all means please do. He kind of got to 15 followers and everything with the brakes be jamming on, as Lambo would say with that accent, but he wouldn't say those exact words. Also, I think maybe Carl Hill's just Dr. Hill's there just because when we resume, we'll be jumping into the boots of whichever character takes over. Um, and there's a link to my Redbubble as well. Thank you very, very much, Alidre. Thank you so much. I also wanted to say very, very quickly that I do have some good positive news as well. For those of you who know, I was able to get everything resolved with the Edsel that I was getting. And that's one of the other reasons why, like, the past month and a bit has actually been a really negative place for me, because I had to get rid of the one car that I was buying and sell that on, and that was something that I've been working on since August of last year, and it was very, very, very disheartening. And I know it sounds like white guy problems, you know, like, oh yeah, oh poor guy and everything, buying your car and everything. It was just something that was important to me because I wanted to have some. Well, for anyone who knows and spoke to me in my Discord or on Discord and everything like that, that was something that I wanted that was mine, instead of always like living in fear and always worrying about like, oh, what if I shouldn't spend my money because what if other people need it? And it's like, hold on there, like, that's not how money works. It's your money, you know. Like, you can do nice things with your money, but you know, like, you shouldn't feel obligated to not spend your own money. Um, and I got that resolved. Like, there's still big hurdles to deal with. There's still mountains of hurdles to deal with at the moment. But yeah, that's been a positive. I just wanted to thank everyone for your patience and for your tolerancy. I'm not gonna lie, like I've been like a lot of ups and downs at the moment, but hopefully, fingers crossed, if everything goes well this October, I'll be at least in a much better position, hopefully, to finally just be like to let everything get back on track and to be more me again. I don't know. I guess I guess being honest is it means that once I know that everything's sorted out with the Edsel and that comes home and everything, then I can start doing what I usually do, which is tipping stupid amounts to everyone else and supporting everybody else instead, because, you know, because I'm a fucking idiot that way. Oh yeah, and the saving up for stuff for streams. Body finally, yeah. Don't you fucking dare. I'll fucking dare, Crayon. I'll do it. You'll just turn around and one day there'll just be like a fucking 10,000. Yeah, I'll do it to both of you. There'll just be like fucking 10,000 bits just dropped straight on the two of you. You're right, Crater, and so do you too. So do you too. So, yeah. Don't you even think about not doing it? Okay, then I won't think about not doing it. I'll do it. Also, do you know what I've just realised as well? Of course I figured out. I'm half asleep. I'm gonna freaking do it. But, what's the matter, Crayon? Chicken? Okay, boys. You should not have laughed at that. You should not have. I'm glad you did. Okay. Time for me to see if I've saved everyone, or at least anyone. Let's go. Let's fucking go, boys. You hydrated? Have you got your drinks and your juices and your food? Alright then. But before I start, I do just want to genuinely say, I do want to genuinely 100% say thank you so much for patience with me. I know whenever I talk about my car and such, I've always sort of spoke with it being like such an important priority to me, but for those who have known me longer, like Amoeba Artstorm and such, it's not like it's not a good example of how I really am, because as you've seen this year, there are some people that have just met me this year, and I've still been tipping and donating and supporting and trying my best to support other people and get them to a place where they can stream and stand on their own 2 feet and everything. But I think you guys can understand that under the circumstances, when you've got other people that are like making, you know, like that are expecting you to just be there because they ask. I know Crater, especially when it comes to issues at home and such, and this is just something where it's like I just wanted to sort of have an option to, I guess, be working on something that's like a hobby, so I've got something to do, and as messed up as I am, I know that I can fix that up, and maybe so I can improve myself at the same time. So then I can go back to how I like to be, you know, and working on potentially projects for the future and such, like my animations and everything, which I have things to do on that still, and I will be updating news on that shortly. But for now, sit back and relax, and let's get started on Until Dawn. And thank you very much for being here. I'm playing through as Josh. You know what? I don't know, no.
You didn't have to hit me so much, man. Yeah, I'm sorry about before, man. I thought you killed Jess. I was wrong.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna give credit to, I'm gonna give credit to, can I just point out, by the way, I can't make him walk any quicker. This is as quick as he's going. I was talking earlier to some people, and... Oh, it's the right one. Okay, that's terrifying. So now we're actually full on seeing the Wendigos. But, yeah, earlier on I was talking about how Mike really, like, stepped it up. You know, he went from, you know, he went from, like, being very, very angry at Josh, and like he said, he punched him because he thought that he'd killed Jess. And now here he is.
No.
I've just noticed, it's a shame that all of these tools that he's got on his belt aren't useful for anything. Like, I know he's got them just for props, but still. Oof. You're about to say you might need to be watching, but now we're in safety. We're past the bits you can't watch. Oh, which bits are those that you can't watch, Craig, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, come on, Josh, it's okay. But yeah, like, Mike really has changed. It's like, look, I thought, like you said, I thought you killed Jess, and it's like, no, it's understandable now. Hello there, Adrian. Hello. Literally, we have found Josh, and Josh is now following Mike. What the fuck?
Oh! Oh, you're not real!
Josh.
No, you're not! Hannah! Oh! 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 No! No!
Okay, first of all, we're playing as Matt, but holy fuck. Yeah, like, this is the thing I was afraid of. Josh was seeing all kinds of things that weren't there. So what do you do when he's face to face with a thing that he shouldn't see? Also, status and collectibles. I just wanted to check. God, his relationship with everyone's gone down because he's not there with anyone. Yeah, no, I just wanted to see the butterfly effect there because at what price? Mike hacked off his own fingers. Mike still had a usable machete. Sam rescued Mike for the sanitarium. Man's best friend. The wolf guided Mike off. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I found out that if I barricaded the door, it would have been okay. Left behind. Ashley wouldn't leave Chris. Ashley ignored the voice. Ashley joined the others. Chris was safe. Okay, important discovery. Sam found Hannah's journal in the mine. Josh heard the truth about the monster. Josh recognized Hannah. And Hannah recognized Josh. Oh my god, yeah, that one is Hannah. The only one I missed out was who gets the gun. So... well, now we're playing through as Matt, so we can finally finish up his story. And get him horrifically killed. Jess!
Is that you? Jesus, Jess. What the hell happened to you? How the fuck are you still alive?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
There's something been going on tonight. Someone really fucking with us up here.
No,
What?
it's not someone, it's something.
Jess, you had a pretty rough night. Hey, it's pretty confusing.
No, I'm telling you.
It's okay. I didn't mean to scare you.
No, God.
Can you move?
Yeah.
Come on, Jess.
Sorry, status and collectibles because it said butterfly effect. Look for Way Out of the Mine with Jessica. Charitable went red. Oh, Charitable's masked out. Okay. Save yourself. Matt jumped to safety. Matt found Jessica. Oh, okay. To the rescue. Matt successfully chased after Jessica. Jessica was still alive. That one was different. Okay. Okay then. Right. I'm getting a feeling there's going to be a lot of those don't moves coming up because the Wendigo, like, sees through movement. Oh, okay. Walking towards the camera. Wait, who was that? That was Mike. Remember, she didn't know that Josh was fucking with him, and I don't think Matt knew about the Wendigo. No, Matt's seen something. Oh, no, Matt does... You're right, Matt doesn't know about the Wendigo yet, because he thinks that the psycho's still real. Everything to do with the psycho / Josh, she didn't know about, because the Wendigo got her. Do you have to... Yeah, no, remember I said this when, like, I know I've said this before, but just to repeat myself again. It was when it was when Mike had to cut off his fingers. Everything in the cabin was not hurting them. You know what I mean? It was, yeah, and Jess had been gone before all the shenanigans had started. But, like, when he had to cut off his fingers at the sanitarium, that was when I started to go, there's two things going on here, because everything with Chris and Ash and Sam was non-lethal. Well, we thought so, like, once I looked at everything else, and there was the thing with Josh, but Josh was probably the most butcheriest, but at the same time it was under really bizarre circumstances, so... Non-lethal. No, I mean, like, everything that the psycho did, he didn't try and kill him. He could have killed Sam in the bath. He could have killed Sam in the bath while she was sleeping. He could have injected her with poison. He could have done all kinds of things. The psychopath, I mean. The psychopath / Josh. But he didn't. He literally just... it was all, like, knocking them out for this kind of, like, jigsaw-type game. Can I talk to Jess? If I can't talk to her, okay.
Jess. Which one? Come on, Jess.
She's in no condition to run.
Does this hurt? All right. Let's go. We gotta do this. Get out of here. Come on. Oh, Jess, come on. Come on. Jess! Jess, come on.
to abandon her. Sorry, I'm going to keep climbing around because I just want the quick time events to be a little easier.
Come on.
Nearly fucked up on that one, to be honest. Okay. He's got them emotionally, but he never wanted to physically. When do you go, lump for fucks? Because of how you type, my hand doesn't hurt, so you're using this as a very regular break from drawing. The so well animated, wouldn't want to fall back down. No. Because sorry, I'm just taking my time because, like, I've never been good at those hold still kind of moments. And thankfully, they weren't long, but I remember the one with the psychopath was, like, ridiculously long, and I fucking butchered that one. So I'm trying to, like, we're in endgame. We're in endgame. I don't want to fuck it up. Not here. Not now. And also, hey, good news, Jessica's still alive, and Matt's still alive. I didn't fucking kill them. Yay. I wonder if that's supposed to be the mine area that, Matt ran to. Also, I'm just going this way because I'm looking for... Totem, 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 totem. Oh, sorry, Sam's got an actual, like, brisk marking, a brisk walk stride going on here. That's kind of nice. Also, yeah, it's like I was saying earlier, Sam's got this kind of look going on to her, like, because of the fact that she was in a different outfit. Totem. But yeah, because she was in a different outfit than everyone, it's like everyone literally looks gnarled to hell. Back. That's a Wendigo in the cabin. Fucking Boyd. Also, I'm just running around here because I'm looking for totems. And so far, running around looking for stuff and running towards the camera, that's done good for me. So I'm going to do more of this. Oh, it's a bit of tree. Sorry, I saw that branch up there on the top right. Like, well, so like the middle right. But, yeah, like, everyone else looked all gnarled, and Sam was, like, in her wonderful clean clothes, just like, oh, hey, everyone, wow, you look like you had a really shitty time, and Matt's like, I'm missing fingers. In fact, the only one that doesn't also look pretty gnarled up is Josh. Josh doesn't look that gnarled up. Well, he didn't look that gnarled up. I hope he's okay. Oh god, more wading through water, is it? These kids really are gonna need to get some fucking treatment for, like... you know, hypothermia or some shit. I think that confirms that whatever it was that Hannah and Beth saw that night, it was definitely a Wendigo. One of them. She's gonna have icicles coming on her at some point. Oh yeah, well, there we go. Already she's starting to freeze up a bit. It's really annoying that this track is so good at fucking setting the atmosphere. Is this on the way back to, is this on the way back to, what do they call it? The other cabin? For their heads, because who the fuck would jump in water during the winter? Yeah, Lambo, yeah, that's true, yeah, that's a good point. Lambo would jump in. Now going back. Okay, we're back. Oh, we're here now.
If we stay out here. Come on.
As they said earlier, when you break and enter into your own house.
Mike, what happened to Josh?
I got him.
God, what an awful way to go.
Not good.
Why? They don't see
do you think
light,
we
they
should do?
see...
We should check the basement. Might be someone left down there.
Okay, sorry for all the pausing, guys. I'm just... I'm invested. Okay, I'll freely admit that. At this point in the game, I am invested. A lot of these characters, like, I didn't think I would get as attached to. Also, the thing is that Sam doesn't know that... Well, also, Mike didn't know. So you're going over here. Sorry, you're going over here. Good plan. I'm going to go over here just to double check for anything. For any sudden mysteriously appearing totems. No? No? Okay. Okay. I can't believe that this house almost looks comforting in its own weird way.
How do you rate our chances of survival? Hmm?
I'm trying not to think about it.
Go, go, go! Run! Oh, shit!
I'm getting the feeling I'm gonna have an awful lot of fucking stay still moments here. Oof. So, a couple of things there that I just wanted to prepare a table to put the thing on. The thing is that if I put it on a table or something and it vibrates, that might make things worse. But something I just wanted to point out there and everything. A couple of things. One, on the fact that I did like that Emily shoved, I think it was Ashley, out the way. She's just like, fuck. Literally, Emily at this moment in time is friendship with Ashley is cancelled. Friendship with Sam and not getting shot established. Yeah, like the friendship social links fucking gone, and rightfully so, because as we saw last time, Ash has turned into very much the. Ash has turned into. I'm saying this because they might all get fucking butchered. But, and then I'd be like, oh no, I feel really sorry. Oh no, I'm like, no, I want to say it now. No, while I still have opinions, is that Emily, if she'd been shot by Mike, which I think was something that very easily could happen, then imagine what it would be like when she finds the paperwork to say, oh, by the way, she wouldn't have turned. Ash has turned into the kind of person I really do hate in a horror game, which is the accusatory one. I can understand people panicking, don't get me wrong, but nobody said anything about biting and turning into one of those creatures. Nobody said anything. It was Ash that jumped to it, and then Mike responded because Ash accused that. So she's the one that causes the hysteria. Sam, I genuinely do like. Emily, I really didn't think I was gonna like as much as I did. Do you know what I mean? She shot up, but she causes hysteria. Yeah, she causes hysteria, and that's like, you know, she did it even with the Ouija board. You remember? Yeah, that's that. You're right there, Lambo. I'd understand if someone called her out and she stopped. There's a good example when Emily and Jess, like, of all people, when Emily and Jess were bickering earlier. And Josh said, "Guys, enough." The Ouija board, if you remember, was Josh's doing, but her reaction to it, if you go back and look at it and everything, she keeps, oh my gosh, who's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Oh, my. And, you know, like, Chris was even saying, like, whoa, okay, like, this is a bit too real. Like, I'm all for a joke, but this feels very, very real. So, also at this point, Matt and Jess are still AWOL, and Josh really is AWOL. I don't think that Josh is dead, though. I don't think that Josh is dead purely for the simple fact that, that's a big ass. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, go. That was a great big incy wincy that decided to just crawl across my bed, and I'm like, thank fuck you decided to do that now, because if you'd butterfly effect, if I'd continued playing and I'd seen that, I'd have jumped and it would have shook the controller because I was surprised. Boom! Butterfly effect. It's all connected. You know. The butterfly effect. That's Sir Spook of the Suits. How goes it? Hey there, Paladin Baz. How are you doing? Mind blown. It's all connected. Yeah. To be fair, we did lead her responses a bit there. No, Elidre, if you actually look back on it, we asked the questions like, who is it, who died, what's your name, how can we help you? I'm on about afterwards, when she was even down in the basement, when she was seeing all the tricks that Josh had set up. She was still like, oh my god, it's Hannah, oh my god, it's Beth, oh my god, it's Hannah and Beth, oh my god, it's Bethany, oh my god, it's Hannah. Like, and, you know, I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. But yeah, I agree with Lambo. Is that like Ash has turned into the hysterical one, and Chris is just out of it. She's naive. Again, I don't think she should deserve to die, but her actions cause potentially other people to die. You know, and yeah, but I don't think Josh is dead because remember, Josh wasn't killed before. Because Wendigos like to keep you alive, and if that Wendigo remembers that Josh, she remembers Josh. Because he called her Hannah, he saw the tattoo. We now know that Hannah is officially one of them. So, here we go. Possessed Lover 94, oh my goodness, hello, guys, everyone. This is Possessed Lover 94, this is one of the people that's trying for affiliation. This is one of the other streamers that I would love it if you guys could support. Please, if you can, follow his channel, swing by when he streams. I'm very sorry that I couldn't. I was streaming this Saturday, so I didn't get a chance to come in and say hello myself. So I'm genuinely sorry for that. No, the Wendigo didn't. The Wendigo dragged him off because I found the journal, because I was wandering around looking for files and documents. Because that's what I do. Mike went off to the right, and I just went, well, fuck it, I'm going to look for files. And it's funny, because if I'd gone right, I think maybe something else would have happened. But because I went left, I was able to get, like, I was able to find Beth's watch, and I was able to find the journal where we found out that Hannah had eaten Beth's flesh, so... status and collectibles, to the rescue, to the rescue. Jessica was still alive. Oh! Jessica survived until dawn. I found Jessica. So those two must be okay then, wherever they are. Huh. Sorry for the sort of spoilers there, guys. Like, I know it's kind of like been exposed to what's going to happen, but well, that's kind of nice to know. We've got two people alive, and Josh AWOL, but as yet not eaten, as far as we know. And if anyone knows otherwise, don't tell me, because I hope I haven't fucked that up. But yeah. But yes, Possessed Lover 94, he is someone that's trying for affiliate. What's on the same page? No worries, it's alright, I understand that. Feel free to check up on me, I had nothing against you. It's okay, guys, again, like I said, Possessed Lover 94, he's someone that's trying for affiliation. If you can, support, promote him. Possessed Lover 94, if you have a Twitter handle, or anything where you share any updates regarding your streaming or anything, please let us know. Please feel free to share it off down below. I really appreciate, I think everyone here would appreciate that, so then that way we can follow and support you. Because one of the important things that I always say is that when I gained affiliation, I didn't just want to be like, well, I've gained affiliate, now it's all for me. I've always tried my best to make sure that if someone else is trying as an upcoming streamer, I always try and make sure that I follow them and support them as well. And I would very much encourage my followers and my fan base and my friends more than anything. Because thankfully the community is still small enough that I can be friends with my followers and everything. It's not too big. I'm not like Markiplier levels where I'm like, I'm friends with everyone in the bazillions in the world. But please share it down below. Let us support you and be there for you, and hopefully help you to gain affiliation and to be on the path for affiliation. Quick note, by the way, Possessed Lover, this is a blind playthrough for me, so I don't know what to expect. So if you know anything about the game, that's your Twitter, right? Okay, guys, can one of you copy and paste that to me on Discord, please? Because once the stream's finished, I'll follow it myself, and then I can retweet and reshare every time he streams. Help him get that. Just thank you so much for coming by, and hopefully I hope you enjoy the stream. Thank you so much. I very much appreciate that. But yeah, so apparently Matt survived. Jess has survived. That's 2 confirmed. Survived until dawn. Now, Let's see how it goes with everyone else, guys. Let's take another... And there's 5 left in the house. Oh shit, yeah, Crayon, you're right. There's Emily, Ash, Chris, Sam, and Mike. Oof. Okay, guys. Wish us luck. Okay, are you heading back to your stream? No problem, Possessed Lover 94. Thank you very, very much for stopping by. Thank you so much, and I very much appreciate it. Okay, here we go, guys. Don't move. Don't fucking move a muscle. No, don't you dare. The fire. Mike, no. Why the fuck are you attacking each other? Don't you fucking dare. This is out. I can't abandon him, I'm sorry, guys.
Hey!
Sorry, I'm seeing it because it says butterfly effect. Once bitten, Mike spared Emily. Ashley was faced with a dilemma and told the truth. Emily pushed past Ashley, putting her at risk. So that's what that one was. The result of chaos. Sam escaped, Mike escaped, Ashley escaped, Emily escaped, Chris escaped.
We have visual. The main structure is completely destroyed. Over.
I can't believe I did a... Oh, fuck off.
Hold on. I'm seeing something. It looks like there are survivors. Let's pick them up.
I saved everyone. What a game. Oh my god, I can see why this got as much hype as it did.
The old man,
They all live, Chief.
I don't know how to describe him. I mean,
You said you thought he was stalking you at first. Did anyone else in your group think that?
well, yeah.
Is it possible they could have killed him?
What? No. No, you don't understand. Don't you understand?
If he attacked you,
He saved my life. And I watched him die.
I heard Jessica. I don't know how or why she was down there, but I know I heard her.
It was a Wendigo. You read the book, you dumb fuck.
He held it right up to my face. Right here, right in front of my nose, and he could have shot me. He almost shot me, the prick. I mean, you go out with a guy for however long and you think you know him, but man, this one really takes the cake.
Yeah, Em's getting
I
back to
was
her old
right
self.
there, and I could have done something. I tried to do something. It wasn't good enough.
Oh, Matt, Jesus.
How did you end up in the mines?
I was carried and taken, and
What did you
Just
see?
Jesus.
I don't know. I don't know.
He was out of his fucking mind. He wanted to hurt us. Okay? And I thought he was the one who attacked Jess.
I thought we were close. After his sister's
Oh, she's talking.
disappeared, he'd come and talk to me. He said I was the only one who understood him. I thought we had a connection.
If you need someone to talk to,
I'm fine.
sometimes, after a traumatic experience,
I said I'm fine.
I don't think anyone's gonna be fine after
I-
tonight.
I stabbed him and I tried to get away, but I didn't know. I swear I didn't know.
didn't know? Who did you stab?
Oh, I stabbed the maniac. I didn't know it was Josh, but then he was the psycho. And how was I supposed to know Josh had all the saws and the gun and oh my god. You bringing in Meat Brain next? Gonna kick him around a bit for me?
I'm sorry?
Meat Brain, Mr. Muscle Brawn, Matt the Incredible Sulk.
Yeah, I
Is
think that.
there something we need to know?
Oh, no, nothing important except, you know how he basically left me to die up on a freaking tumbling tower like a world-class douche nozzle?
Your friend Ashley, she told us she tried to help you. She said she heard you calling out.
Not me. Mike.
What do you remember?
He came for me. He did.
Came for you?
Let's hope for those
Where
two
is
then.
he? Did he make it?
You need to listen to me. I don't care if you believe me or not. Doesn't matter because you will. You need to go down to the mines.
What's in the mines, Sam?
I've seen what's down there, and I'd give anything to unsee it.
I think she's a bitch, but it's because she's back in control again, because we know what she's actually like. In a weird way, I'm kind of glad that Em is like that, because it sort of means that she's gone back to how she used to be. But we know that that was an act, like we know that that's her bravado. But in a weird way, it's a relief to kind of see someone go back to normal. Sam's resolve seems tested but standing strong. Yeah, Sam's different. I think the one thing that I was debating this earlier, like before the game started. I kind of like the fact that this is something that we don't usually see in movies, is that Matt and Em was never going to work. And it's kind of nice to see that. It's kind of nice to see a relationship where we can see that it's not going to work. You know, it's always usually like, you always see in movies the couples like Chris and Ashley and Mike and Jessica. It was kind of nice to see the whole Matt and Emily thing where it was never going to work. And I think it's nice to see that in a game. And that's my take on it, like, you know, because it's always like, oh, the couples are always so cute and sweet. You know, sometimes it's just not going to work. Jess was the most changed. Yeah, she went from being bouncy and bubbly and energetic and enthusiastic and your typical valley girl to haunted and like she just completely 180'd. And like you say, she was very quiet and still, and even wrapped up in blankets and being treated, she still was quiet and still. I don't know what's happened to Josh, but I can you imagine if he'd gotten out? He wouldn't be able to be interviewed. He'd be committed. You know, he would instantly be committed because he would still be, you know, freaking out and lashing out and everything. Honestly, I think I'm reeling I got everyone out alive. I'm genuinely amazed by that. I think that's a good thing in a weird way. I mean, like, I literally was just running around. Like, a lot of the time, I would go, oh, hey, this character's walking off to the right, which means the game's clearly, well, we say that, we don't know what's happened to Josh yet. But I got the achievement saying, you know, everyone alive or something like that. I'll double check the achievements when I get a chance. Because if this is the end of the game, I've been streaming for only an hour. I'm usually supposed to keep going for another 2. Yeah, you think the static events... Yeah, it's true. Like, there was that whole thing where there was who gets the gun, and I'm like, what do you mean who gets the gun? You know, like, was that when Chris asked for the gun from Mike and everything? It's conditioned by Marvel to watch through all the credits. I do that anyway because there was an awful lot of horror movies where I would do that and stuff, so I'm not going to skip them, because knowing my luck, I'd push the button and it would be something important. And plus also, it's just nice to be able to talk about the game. Stuff that happens no matter what you do. Yeah, like, from what I can understand, yeah, from what I can understand, in terms of, like, times that people can die ridiculous... Like, static events, obviously. Hannah and Beth... Well, Beth dying is one of them. I was a bit confused by the Wendigo fight. Were they fighting because each other was moving, or were they fighting because Hannah recognized everyone? You know, because Hannah definitely died at that point. I'm pretty sure she was the one that, like, I didn't get a chance to look at her face properly because I was keeping an eye too much on the don't move. Maybe you guys can tell me. But when she was hiding behind the beam, so when Sam was hiding behind the beam, same kind of level as fighting whatever you see for the Wendigos. Oh, okay, fair enough. But yeah, like same level as fighting with the Wendigos. Hannah was the tallest one of them, and she certainly seemed to recognize Sam. Yeah, I think that funny enough, she protected Sam by grabbing the Wendigo that would have got her. You're right. So there was some semblance of Hannah in there. So that's kind of horrifying when you think like what she becomes. She's not aware enough to be aware. Because I mean, like, if she was a Wendigo, she could have gone back and like taken care of everyone. She could have like gone back to the cabin and stayed there and kept herself warm and comfortable, but instead she mutated because she was aware, but she was driven to what she became by the Wendigo spirits. Funnily enough, Hannah's actually the character that I like the least, and people will say, well, she's only in the game for a small amount of time. And hear me out, when they pranked her, Hannah literally, like, we see through her notes that she's really liked Mike, to the point that it was almost, it wasn't stalkerish, but she was very much like, oh my god, Mike looked at me in the hallway. It was like, oh, okay, cool your beans, it's fine, don't worry about it. But then, when Mike invited her to the room that, as we know, was going to be the prank video, she literally comes through the door, closes the door, starts to take her top off, even after Mike says, why don't we just talk? And it's like, that's an interesting reaction. And then when she runs, she doesn't just go, oh no, I made a fool of myself. She fucking ran, like, practically, like, back to the cable car in completely the wrong direction, but still. You know, when we actually went to see how far she went, when we saw how far she went as Matt, that was one hell of a list. Like, that was one hell of a distance that she ran. And I just see Mystery Man, see Mr. Flamethrower Man never actually got a name, you know. But yeah, she fucking Hannah's reaction was not one that I would think, like, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with her, like, in terms of mental health, but her reaction was very overblown, because she's literally just like, oh my goodness, like, I know they want to get the game underway, but I think that's a bit much. Like, I'd understand if she went to kiss Mike or something, or if they talked for a while and then the kiss happened, but no, she literally went straight to, I'm gonna take my shirt off, and I'm like, okay then, that's a bit of a jump. Again, anything? Josh? Oh no.
There's something down here.
I have a visual on a survivor. One survivor, repeat. Is that?
Oh, fuck!
Stay back! Stay back! No! Stay back!
I guess Josh lived. important discovery. Sam found Hannah's journal in the mine. Josh heard the truth about the monster. Josh recognized Hannah and Hannah recognized Josh. Josh was alive, trapped and cannibalistic. Hannibal the cannibal. So apparently I missed one entirely, which is pretty neat. But yeah, oof. Like totems, I didn't find everything. Let me just press play just because I want to see what how much of the events of the past I got.
Many years ago, my grandfather hunted those possessed
Emmy,
by the
hi.
curse.
Hi,
But there
hi,
was
hi.
one that eluded him. The fiercest of all, the Macapichu. It was a terrible thing, and
I saved everyone, by the
defeated.
way, Emmy. Sort of.
Sometime after, the prospectors came to mine this mountain, until a cave-in trapped them in and woke the curse and driven mad murderers, cannibals, eating. Taunt them with fire. Years after many months,
I think it's because I agreed with them.
out of my
Might have been connected to the gun.
beyond my reach. Until one night, a year ago, I was finally able to get him in my sights. But we were not alone in the woods that night. While I was tracking the Macapichu, it was tracking something else. The Macapichu forced your friends over the mountain. There was nothing I could do. I couldn't save your friends, but I could avenge them.
And I'm guessing because he potentially killed that Wendigo. Well, I got all dangers at least. Now, oh, that's what that was. It was Josh. Good fortune. Oh, stayed still. Good fortune, yeah, everyone survived. Loss. I'm guessing that would have been Mike if he'd flicked the light switch earlier, if like I'd fucked up or something. Looking at the colour of it, that must have been Matt, but Matt didn't get crushed, so... That was Ashley, so yeah, Ashley would have been killed. Oh, wait, was that... Chris? Maybe? Maybe Chris would have sacrificed himself. That one. Josh became one. There was 12 to begin with, Emmy. Josh was the one to go. Yeah, basically what happened, Emmy, is that we saved everyone. But no, it's okay. I'm glad to see you here. You know, I really appreciate it, everything. But the Wendigo spirits, when a Wendigo gets killed, their spirits will possess another person, and Josh was left up on the mountain by himself because we found out that one of the Wendigos was Hannah, his sister. The one that got pranked, the one with the glasses at the beginning. So, yeah, like... Well, I never got any more clues on him, so I was missing out on... Oh, that was right, that was Josh's prank. Updated. It looks like a partially transformed Wendigo. This was one of the things, suicide note. The Wendigos must have overrun the sanatorium. Braggs's body was never found. That one, you know, that was the one that Crayon was excited for. Old film rail, it looked like the restrained miner was turning into a Wendigo. The twins. Film trophy. Josh learned about special effects from his dad's movie experience. The Wendigo in the mine had an identical butterfly tattoo. Update, the Wendigo in the mine also has a tattoo of a butterfly on its right shoulder. See, this is the thing that I mean. Sam, Mike, Emily, and Hannah all at the picture. So when you think about it, Mike and Emily, you can see that they were a couple. This was their prom. But Hannah still had feelings for her, and I was like, sorry, still had feelings for Mike. And I'm like, I don't know, that just still feels a bit freaking... This is the same locket that was found in the mine. Tennis photo, the Wendigo in the mine had an identical butterfly tattoo. Hannah's tattoo is identical. Do you fucking think that maybe the tattoo was identical to the one that was in the mine? Beth's phone. Beth never went anywhere without her cell phone. She must have passed this way on the night of the disappearance. I'm amazed that didn't play a bigger part into the story. Well, that's the thing, Lambo. Like, when you look through her journals and everything, and you look at her notes, and you actually saw how she responded... Like, I can understand the feeling and everything, but it's really like, there's a point where you sort of go, yeah, that person's taken, I've got to ease back with it and everything. And I don't think she did. I think, like, Hannah was very much not pushing past it. Beth's the one I feel sorry for. Yeah, there's nothing updated there. Beth's, according to Hannah's journal, Beth was killed from the fall. How weird is it to think that technically Beth had the fucking lucky escape? When you're getting yours, Beth, a photo of Hannah showing off her new tattoo. The remains of Beth Washington's head resting on a jacket in the mine. There's no sign of the body. Beth's watch. Hannah's journal suggests that she dug up the body, driven mad with hunger. Squall's journal. A bundle of pages that Hannah used as a journal. It tells of how she was trapped down the mine and starving. She took desperate action for which she found profoundly guilty. Then her body began to change. The journal ends as incoherent scribbles. So, yeah. Also, since we're here, might as well, because... Meet the cast. Why not? Let's go for it. Let's fucking go! Movie night with everybody.
I am Hayden Panettiere, and we are here at the studio recording Until Dawn.
My name is Rami Malek, and I played Josh.
Oh hey, you look like Josh from Forknife.
My name is Brett Dalton.
My name is Antonella Lentini, and I played Hannah and Beth.
My name is Jordan Fisher, and I play the character Matthew, Matt for short.
I'm Nicole Bloom, and I play Emily in the game.
My name is Noah Fleiss.
I am Galadriel Steinman, and I play Ashley.
So, Until Dawn is a story of 8 teenagers who revisit this cabin in the woods about a year later after a really traumatic experience where I've lost 2 of my sisters, so coming to kind of get some closure in that respect.
Oh no, they are.
Really well is make these multi-layered characters, and I think for just the story in general, it follows the quintessential horror film plot lines.
I like that the actress has got a very similar jaw to Rami, so you can sort of understand that, like, they're trying to look for someone that was similar to him so that they can believe that they were related.
You know, getting everyone together on the anniversary. I mean, Josh seemed really pumped about us all doing something, didn't he?
Yeah, no, he definitely did. I haven't seen him so excited about something in forever.
Good.
I think
Sam and I have a few things in common, such as being huge lovers of animals, and she's a huge animal lover. She's vegan. She is a pacifist. I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna go as far as saying that I'm a pacifist.
I don't know where it came up that she was vegan, but okay, interesting to know.
She's spunky and cool. I know that she, I think, is made fun of a little bit by the rest of them.
Doubt.
Who think that her
Doubt. I think she's pretty loved by them.
beliefs in that area are a little ridiculous, and they don't agree with them. But she doesn't care. It doesn't stop her from being herself. And
true, Crater. True.
I hope I have in common with her.
You know, he definitely can be depressed at some times and a bit of a loner, but he takes some solace in one of his sister's friends, Sam, played by Hayden Panettiere, and invites everybody back to the same house.
Gee, can you tell that I relate to Josh a little bit? Fucking hell.
She has a whole lot of personality. She is definitely the sort of mean girl character that, you know, at school she knows she's pretty, she knows that boys like her, and she's going to use it to her advantage.
He's got a big heart, and you can tell that's very evident.
I think the guys really transferred very well with this motion capture. I think the girls, like, not so much, but it could be the hairstyle, because they've all got, like, you know, they've all got, like, tight, short hairstyles in game. And in here, they've all got these long, luxurious locks all falling down around.
Is Chris, and he is what society might consider the nerd of the group. And
it's funny because I only see the Egyptian priest from Night at the Museum.
She's a little more serious than some of the other girls. She's definitely very intelligent and thoughtful. She kind of looks at the whole big picture of things. Not quite as geeky as Chris, but they connect.
It's like I'm almost waiting for him to show up and just be literally like, "Can you please return my slab or suffer my curse?"
The class president, who has some charm and has brain, and I don't know. People seem to like Mike. He gets away with a lot, though. He can be kind of jerky.
The fact that he really just kind of wants everyone to be happy. When he wants he's a people pleaser, and that's I can definitely attest to being, you know, that guy. I'm always the friend that wants everybody to be happy and wants everybody to be taken care of, and that's definitely Matt.
But also, like, this character is just so fun. I rarely get to play the bitch, and so it was really fun to do that. The spirit of things, seriously, what's wrong with you?
I'm just trying to lighten the mood, Em. Don't be like that.
Like what?
The way you're being. You always get like this.
I just think this is just the coolest thing to be a part of, and I just think it's going to take the world by storm. I really do. I think this genre is the wave of the future, and I think that once people see the potential behind it, of getting to interact with the drama that you're witnessing unfold in such a realistic way, that this is how entertainment's going to be from now on.
I don't think he was wrong necessarily with that, but I do think that sometimes it's nice to go back and look at some of the older games and the older graphics and how they look, instead of always being this level. I think this was a good game because it was a rarity to have such a high quality of graphics. If every single video game had this, I mean, like, even when I look at Resident Evil 2 Remake, I miss the old clunky, like, 90s looking graphics. I miss the 90s designs. I miss the, you know, the pixels and everything. I don't think that's the Mystery Man. I think, honestly, that's one of the... I think that's one of the people working on the makeups and such. But the thing that got me for this game with the story, yeah, honestly, I genuinely think that this is shot right up in terms of horror, because this made me tense, and that's the kind of horror that I like. Like, there were so many people, like, you know, there were moments that jumped. Like, there's that great moment that was clipped, I think, by Crater, I believe, or someone. It's when I went, hee hee hee, after I went, oh, look, and then fucking birds jump out. And I wasn't fazed by that because jump scares, like, don't really get to me. But when it's something like when I saw the Wendigos in the background, like, go through and play the fucking, like, Until Dawn drinking game. Every time Spook Suit goes, you fuck off with that, or something to those feelings after I've gone, oh, you get the fuck out, you go to hell, and you're like, oh no, don't like that, or something along those lines. Fucking take a fucking shot, because boy hell. Those level of graphics are still only possible with these kind of games, in your opinion? Like, there's some good-ass looking games that, like, aren't open world, but more like, what do you call them? Linear. Like, linear or sandbox. Sandbox or something. Spooks drinking bingo. I like that idea. I like games that have substance to it, so a great story, relatable characters, things like that. Graphics are a bonus, but don't make the game what it is. This is the thing. People have mentioned this to me and everything. Like, there's a game called Deadly Premonition, and I freely admit that is one of my favourite games. The graphics and the way it's portrayed is so freaking janky. It sort of comes across like a very strange, like, early 2000s video game. Open world games take so much power to process and render all the little things in a huge map that it's understandable. Also, I wish there were more linear games. See, this is the thing. I noticed that a lot of games that should be kept linear, and not everything has to be open world. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I did like that this felt sort of like a movie. I liked being able to explore the areas. I loved the environments that they created. Even when I was going back over it, like, the thing that I liked is that it never felt like I was constantly, even when I had to, sorry, like, it never felt like I was constantly moving forward and never looking back. There was a fair few times when I revisited locations, the sanitarium, going back through the cabin, going through like the same paths up to like 2 or 3 times. And it was nice that it always felt fresh, or there was another layer added to it, because, okay, the long walk up to the cabin for Mike and Jess was just a nice long walk up to the cabin to sort of like show off the environment and everything. But then when we had to do that same walk because we were trying to head up to the sanitarium, or we were trying to make sure that they were okay, yeah. The world is alive. It's all the same thing. Yeah, exactly. Same. Skype falls into the same problem. Yeah, I get where you're coming from with that. Also, 1 second, I'll be AFK for just 1 sec. It's all the same thing, but then there's a game like where Kingdom Comes where the roads are empty because there's dangerous bandits and humans rolling around, and you don't have to want to leave that town, so it doesn't feel weird if the roads are empty, but you still see a trader or a weffer. Or you get ganked by a bunch of peasants with halberds and you get your ass handed to you. Yeah, like, I think that there's a lot to be said for certain environments, like, in Silent Hill 2, there's a great sequence, like when I watched behind the scenes, and I think watching the behind the scenes of things is something very important, but when it came to, what was it? When it came to Silent Hill 2, at the beginning, you start at your car that you came into the town with. And now, usually most horror games don't do that. Most horror games are like, they throw you into the action, or they put you into a position where you can't go back. Silent Hill 2 leaves you right next to your car, so that you could leave at any time if you wanted to. And you've got such a long walk to head into town. And you can walk all the way back to the beginning if you wanted to. The game leaves it up to a certain point where you can walk all the way back to the beginning. It's only when you get to the museum, the historical museum, and you have to start jumping through like pits, that's when you cross the point of no return. After you get to that point, the game sort of forces you into, this is it now, you've got to keep going. But up before then, you can effectively walk all, and I've tried it, you can walk all the way right back to the very beginning of the game. And I thought that was phenomenal. You go through like 3 or 4 different locations to get there, and you can turn around and you can literally walk all the way back. And I thought that was phenomenal to see, and that was phenomenal to experience. But the reason why they designed it that way is because it's such a long walk. You don't want to walk all the way back. You don't want to go back all that way. You want to keep moving forward. And I think that's when open air can work so well. But people feel like, oh well, you always have to do it. Like there was a great moment in one of the Silent Hill games as well where Silent Hill, the game that lets you go nope and leave. Well, there was a moment in Silent Hill Downpour. This is the thing, like, I think what gets me is when people try and apply real-world physics into a video game. You thought that with Resident Evil 2 you couldn't go back to the police station. Yeah, true. But what I'm saying is that, like, in the remake, I would be talking about going all the way back to the gas station at the beginning. Alone in the Dark being a good game series. Alone in the Dark was a great game series. Alone in the Dark was a fantastic game series. I thought that New Nightmare was the best one, and I will probably try and play that at some point if I can ever get the... If I can ever find a way of fucking getting my freaking capture card to work properly, I will most definitely be streaming that on at some point, because I've got a copy of it. I think it's a great game. I think what got me is that the trouble with Alone in the Dark is that it hasn't really found itself. Alan Wake was the Finnish one. The one with the torch. The one with the torch where you're walking around in the darkness. But yeah, like, that's the thing. Alan Wake ended up making a better Alone in the Dark than the recent Alone in the Dark, because they made an Alone in the Dark not that long ago, where it was like you were in Central Park that had been taken over by demons and monsters, and it wasn't a bad game, but honestly, it was such a game where it was like, oh, but you need to have glow sticks in your inventory. But I don't want glow sticks in my inventory. And it was such a pain in the ass to get through certain locations and to deal with certain things that the game became so fucking tedious. Like, and the trouble is that what got me about Alone in the Dark was that Alone in the Dark: The New Nightmare was such a fantastic game, because it took some elements of Resident Evil, but it also added some of its own flavour to it. It was starting to find its universe. And then they made another one, and everything that went before didn't really count. And it was like, so wait, what's going on? We're playing as Edward Carnby, but now we're not playing as Edward Carnby. Also, there's weird things going on in games where the games don't want to make you feel like you're a hero or something. And that's something that I genuinely liked when we were playing through as Mike. Yeah, they kind of, they didn't retcon it per se, but they kind of like made it like Carnby was an immortal or something, and it was sort of stupid. They kind of make things harder for you, or just making shit boring or tedious to do. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to say this right here and now and everything. I'm not a fan of the Last of Us kind of games. And it's not because, like, I'm not hating on The Last of Us as a franchise. I don't want to get into that. But I just have never liked that kind of story. You know, I've never been that invested in it. Because it feels like they just want to make a movie. And I'm like, make a digital movie then. Make a digital movie, you know. Like, there's no harm in making that. There's no harm in doing that if you want to. But, like, you know, and it's that whole gloomy thing. Like, I want to play a zombie story, like Resident Evil and such, where there are villains that are intelligent, which are the CEOs of Umbrella, and then you have the monsters that are the creations of these people. You know, it can be as simple as that. It doesn't have to be like the whole thing of we're the real monsters or anything like that. Like, you can do that kind of stuff if you want. You know, but I don't want it to be that kind of... This is going to sound weird to say, I almost want it to be a little bit corny. I almost want it to be that games go back to being like Albert Wesker when he's unleashing the tyrant and he knows that he's doing something evil and wrong, and he's just no, but I'm like, but like, he is just literally just like full on chewing the scenery with how evil he is. You know, like, don't get me wrong, you can have a character that can be making zombies into this very serious thing. You want to see games based on the Warm Bodies movies, or the Infected. You know, like, you don't understand why we're making zombies into this very serious thing. To be honest, I get the feeling that because of everything that's been happening recently, and I'm not going to dwell on it because obviously I'm here for escapism, it shows how quick and easy it is. I mean, people always come to the conclusion of, oh no, it wouldn't be that easy and everything. No, it would be. It very much would be. You know, because, you know, people are trying that hard to sort of show their independence that they end up walking into a trap kind of thing. It does depend on how the world works. You're right, it definitely does depend on how the world works and everything. I mean, like, in Resident Evil 2, it wouldn't have mattered. Like, the Left 4 Dead is very difficult, The Walking Dead, or Dying Light, or Resident Evil, where the zombies are more shambly type, you know? Because in Left 4 Dead, only people who were immune to the flu didn't get infected. Yeah, and that's a very minute people. Avoid it like the plague, can be struck from the books because, surprise, people don't. Yeah, I think also one of the things I'd always love to see is, this is the thing, with VR coming in, World War Z, then there's DayZ as well for that kind of thing. Everyone is a Karen, it only gets to work when you die. Like, with I would love to see, with the appearance of virtual reality making more of a presence in games, I would very much like to see how things would be if they started to use that. Like, imagine that you're in a virtual reality world and you're seeing things in virtual reality that are actually there. You know, like Josh's hallucinations. Josh seeing his hallucinations and he's trying to convince himself that they're not real, trying to convince himself that he's not real, trying to convince himself that they're not real. And then when he gets grabbed by the Wendigo and he sees that it's Hannah, he freaks out because he keeps saying it's not real, it's not real, it's not real. Have you played Arkham Knight? Or any of the Arkham games? Very much, you mean like Scarecrow's moments, when you're playing through and Scarecrow like fear toxins you, and then the whole game itself starts to warp and go into like weird and wacky places. All I can say is VR horror really throws you into the middle with being right there as the midst of things, or at least giving you the sensation that you're in the thick of it. Have I played the games? Yeah, I've played them. That's what I'm saying, Lambo. I've played them. I've played the... You've played the games and everything like that. Yeah, I know. That's why I said the bit with Scarecrow going weird and everything. I know the bits that you're on about, like where you know, like where you go into the morgue and you see that one. Arkham Knight, where Batman keeps hallucinating the Joker everywhere. Yeah, there's that kind of stuff, but like imagine. But what I'm saying is that, like, imagine a virtual reality game where you're playing a virtual reality game. Like, say that you're playing some sort of fantasy game. And as you're playing this fantasy game and you're wandering through and you're being this brave knight and you're smiting the creatures and everything like that, you start to see something that's not the same kind of graphics. It literally looks like someone's ported in a fucking Resident Evil character. And then the game starts to make it so that the implication being that your character... Like, it would be played in two ways. Like, it would be you playing as the character with the VR headset on, and then playing in the real world, but then having the real world be where you start to see the creatures again. Like, imagine that you're fighting this creature and you pause the game and you take off your headset, and imagine that the creature's still right in front of you. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff's what I'm on about. Like, because the thing with VR is that because of the fact that you're so immersed in the game with your headset on, you don't know what's literally around you in the world. And I always thought that was a concept, or what you're seeing. You go, aha, look at this, it's a video game and everything. You could literally be seeing something otherworldly, and you don't process that information because you think it's all fictional. So you react differently than if you suddenly saw something like that appearing in your house, or if you're appearing in your room or something like that. Also, I'm going to give my throat a little bit of a rest and everything because I want to see making a scene. Because again, we're going to finish these.
Hi, this is Lee Robinson, production designer on Until Dawn. The production design for Until Dawn started with the great teen horror script that sets the characters in a Canadian winter mountain lodge, being a contemporary setting with visual clues derived from classic films of that genre, such as Hitchcock's Psycho and Stanley Kubrick's Shining. The storyboards are vital to the production design as it allows the designer to understand the scale of the environments to be made and the detail.
Exactly, Lambo, and I love that kind of stuff. I'd want the tension to be there.
This took us into concepts that took these storyboards further, visualizing the world through the color palette, the lighting, tone, and the mood. and developing key locations such as the lodge, the cable car stations, the forests themselves, the wilderness. As you can see, the environments and atmospheres change quite a bit from warm and inviting to cold and threatening. The Millionaire's Mountain Lodge was a key example.
God,
it was
that's
designed to be
pretty sad.
made from nearby stone and timber, embedding it into the landscape, with a contrasting and contemporary interior needing to be opulent and extravagant. We created dark and claustrophobic corridors with ominous and large open spaces, almost cathedral-like in size, and with huge structures to silhouette and dwarf the characters within,
Washington House in
providing a
Minecraft
labyrinth
when?
to explore and wander. Each character was developed with a strong visual identity in mind, with contrasting
colours, yeah.
tones, and silhouettes
Samus
to
was
identify
red.
them, each to have their own texture, pattern, and shape, so that when they were lined up, you could always identify them. The costume designs allowed a range of clothes that would suit them for the cold winter weather, but also have an element of style and individualism, so that the audience could look at them and relate, recognizing themselves within them.
A lady would like to cuddle up with her man by a nice cozy fire bathed in atmospheric mood lighting.
Right. It'll get plenty toasty once we're rubbing up against each other.
Mike. Fire and mood lighting.
Yes.
Working with the lighting artists, we really brought the look and feel of the world together, and this required a thorough understanding of the visual language of teen horror. A key scene was where all the characters emerge out of the rear of the lodge chasing Hannah. A contrast is evident straight away from the exterior wilderness to the warmth of the lodge. The attention to character lighting here is through the bounce and rim lighting, accented colours and composition, creating characters that come from the dark into the light and back again with an emotional effect.
Guys, there's someone outside. What the hell?
Hannah!
What's going on? Where's my sister going?
It's fine. She just can't take a joke.
It was just a prank, Han.
Ooga booga, Mike make fire. The science of fear. Okay then. Science.
Until Dawn is a game that's full of horror, and one of the things we decided to do early on was to take a scientific approach to how scary it was. So we did experiments on people, and we measured their responses to the game. We've created a test area. It's as close to a home setup as we can get it. We've recruited ordinary people to play the game, and we've left them to play it on their own.
You're turning the light off.
The only difference is it's rigged with cameras and microphones that relay the data through to the next room where people are watching them play. Bracelet here we use for biometric testing. It measures the player's emotional response. It's called a galvanic response sensor. It makes contact with the user's skin, and it measures the electrical conductivity across their skin. It's the same principle as an old-fashioned lie detector. When you're stressed, you sweat a little, very sensitive, it picks up tiny changes if the player is feeling anxious or scared. That data's fed back to a testing team, comes through as a graph.
God, I nearly started to go for the freaking analog stick. I'm so used to seeing that. Okay, so if I had dropped Hannah,
There's no point testing
like
one or
they
two
would have
people,
landed
you have to
obviously at
test a
different
lot of people.
times. So
When we have a scare that's consistently has a measurable emotional response, then we knew it was good. If it didn't have that, it goes back to the team for improvement. The data doesn't tell us what's wrong with the scare, it only tells us if it's working or not.
Wait, okay, so you hear that too, right?
Josh.
Here we have a chapter relatively early in the game.
Weirdly regular.
Nothing regular about it.
We have to create tension and anxiety in the player.
see, that was
so
also a
they are
hint that
ready
something was up
to
with
receive
Josh
the
then,
scare.
because that was a scare that he
have to give the player time to recover, to cool down, to calm down, and then start building the tension again before we do the next scare.
Hey.
What?
Hey.
What the hell?
Ooh, you just got mugged.
Yeah, I have such an adrenaline high from that game.
There's two things we found. One is we could look at the scares, analyse if our expected scares were working effectively. Were people shrieking and covering their hands?
These
or were
people
they
are
getting
pussies,
emotional response
Lambo.
from it?
You
And being
can't even
scientific
play
about it means
fucking
that we strip out
Amnesia
people's
without being
opinions
fucking
about whether things are
plastered,
working or
so
not. We look at
don't
the
you
data, and we look at
freaking
the data.
dare.
If it's working, we're happy with it.
Meanwhile, I get fucking jump scared left, right, and centre. I'm like, oh shit. The only thing that scared me was fucking stay still moments.
Yeah, with some other people as well. Yeah, maybe.
But because I was scared of cat, I would play with someone in the room. And the lights on.
One of the scariest games I've played in a long while.
Oh, Elidre, thank you so much for the 100 bits. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Jump scares are cheap scares, and they still fucking get you, and you still get fucking scared. Amnesia does the opposite. Yeah, true. 1,000 pages. Are we going to read 1,000 pages? Oh, pray.
Hi, Larry.
Hey, Graham.
Hi, my name is Graham Resnick. I'm a filmmaker, writer, director, sound designer, and I started working with Larry Fessenden about 10, 15 years ago through my friend Ty West, who I grew up with, and have done a lot of sound design with on his films. And he was producing Ty's films at the time, and Ty introduced me to Larry. Larry produced my first feature, and we've written together on several projects.
My name is Larry Fessenden. I'm a filmmaker. I
So we
run
get the
Glass Eye
fart
Picks,
noise to
which
scare
is,
Lambo.
An independent production company out of New York. We make indie movies, a lot of scary movies as well. And I got a call to audition to write this video game. And I called my pal Graham Resnick because Graham's a gamer. And
They
while
might
I
have
thought I
used his
could
likeness.
offer something to the idea of writing
Sometimes it
this
does happen.
multi-branching story, I knew that I would want Graham's expertise as a lover of gameplay, since I guess games were started. So
And just as a lover.
And as a lover, yes.
No worries, Adrian. You take care, and thank you very, very much for
so many
stopping by.
sex jokes in the game.
There was one Italian website that did say the Larry
that's
Fessenden and
right.
Graham Resnick, the two lovers behind Until Dawn.
Come here. Maybe I know how to handle you too.
I am definitely ready to be handled.
So I wanted Graham by my side. Yeah, and we got the gig, and it's been an amazing ride.
So, what have we learned?
She's taking her shirt off.
What?
Titties will bring out Wendigos.
Matt,
Titties are haunted. This is why I'm an ass man.
I'm sorry, Hannah. This all got out of hand, but...
So in the game, the basic setup is that a year prior to the game's start, all these kids had gone up to a ski lodge that was owned by the parents of one of the kids, or a couple of the kids, and some of the teenagers played a prank on some of the other teenagers, and the terrible tragedy occurred when a few of them, two sisters, ran out into a blizzard, and were never seen from again. And so now, a year later, this is kind of torn apart, this group of friends. They've gone through some trials and tribulations in the past year. The brother of the two girls has had a lot of psychological issues, and to kind of help him cope and help them all get over it, they all returned to the lodge a year later, back up on the mountain. And the idea is to get over it, but...
the healing does not begin.
Yeah, and these kids are all...
They gotta get
trying to
over
find
it.
themselves.
Where's
they've
the
been through
fucking
a trauma,
cauldron and the hammer
but
and
in
Bennett
general,
Foddy?
they're just teenagers trying to figure out who they are. So they're all kind of falling into the patterns, the stereotypes, the characters they see on TV and in the movies.
I think we were very interested in taking genre tropes and kind of making them sort of refresh them.
I agree that the game does that very, very well. Like, there were a lot of tropes and cliches, but
did you see that?
I think we kind of need them.
This weekend.
We're familiar.
I
with
don't know.
how
It's
slasher
weird.
movies
Like,
work. Most people have seen some horror movies, and we have established.
Like Chris was actually quite a brave nerd, and Mike really did back up everything he was doing as the hero.
To bring you into the game.
Yeah. Well, as a hero.
They're haunted by some incident that happened in their past, which I think you pretty much figure out that that's going to have a role in their interaction. Yeah, so I think what was fun was we take some sort of stock characters and we try to give them some shape, but at least at the beginning they're recognizable in the way of groups of friends. There's the jock and the bitchy girl and the rivalries between everyone. And
yeah, she was basically like the independent female kind of character, but like she could have gone down the avenue of being far too. I remember that got Lambo when I first watched this.
It was fun. I think we were looking to get that kind of banter that you see.
Like Sam could have easily turned into like the too much of an ass kicker like Mila Jovovich in the Resident Evil movies.
And as friends ourselves, we sort of developed little tracks.
I remember it got you the first time I played it. But who else was it as well? You didn't even see that scene and everything. Oh no, you got scared at like pretty much everything else. But the thing is, Lambo, is that like I can always go back through the playthrough and I can see the chat when you got scared. I could always go back and double check. Don't worry, it's fine. For a brief moment, I could see your fear plastered on the screen for everyone to see. You wasn't in the stream back then. You're right, Lambo. You weren't even in the stream back then. No, I'm glad you're here, though, man. I'm really glad that you're here. Thank you so much for, for coming by. But yeah. Okay, score. No, Lambo, don't do it, please. I like it when you're here to be scared by the games that I play because you're too pansy to play them by yourselves.
Jason Graves, and I'm the composer for Until Dawn. I've been involved with Until Dawn for about a year now. Originally, I was contacted by Barney Pratt, the audio director.
You don't play horror games on your own time.
To do with my lineage of horror games, and hopefully not the fact that my last name is Graves, although a lot of people seem to associate my name with scary music.
Gee, I wonder why.
One of the things that was really exciting about
oh my goodness, Lambo is the best at playing horror. He's even better than me just because of the fact that I'm used to playing horror. He is just such a freaking, like, he just runs a mile and freaks the fuck out and he yells and he wants to punch things, and I love it. But I think what I genuinely also like about Lambo when he plays horror is that he accepts that that's what a game's supposed to do, and he does it. Like, I will say this, Lambo, is that
and it doesn't matter if it's film,
you don't just ignore the game.
I always end up going to the main
and you don't
theme.
just rip into it to
Sometimes the developer
de-scare yourself. You don't just constantly make puns to stop yourself from being scared.
Because for me, the main theme,
you kind of have like a respect for the game, and it's the kind of same reason why I play horror. And it's kind of how I want to be as a streamer. I don't just want to completely, I don't want to just completely ignore that the game is trying hard to make you scared. And I always say that when it came to, what was it? When it came to Deathmark. Deathmark was fantastic for doing that.
They liked it. We actually ended up recording that exact theme.
It was make a joke, kind of poke fun at the game a little bit, and then the game was just like slams its hand on the fucking table and goes, now you've got to go back to being sensible again, and it's like, yes sir.
that you'll hear on the menus and in some key pieces of gameplay.
Absolutely right away, Sir Nimble. That was me during Deathmark. You know, like, even when we had a few little jokes about some of the content and some of the comments, that game really fucking pulled you back into it.
In horror. And there's something about
and whereas
scary
then you've got
music, I
White
think
Day,
it's maybe the lack of rules.
which honestly I'm thinking about
biggest
making
rule
a
in scary
White
music is
Day,
there are
like a
no
White Day
rules, so
drinking
you can
game,
do anything you want.
because that game is just like, it needs something, because, ugh.
Don't feel like they would work out together.
Also, just muting my microphone for a moment.
Even more effective
Just
for scary
Paparino.
music. So that's what really drew me to Until Dawn, was the textures, plus writing thematic material that is interwoven with the scary textures. I haven't really done anything like that before. Usually it was just all tension all the time, and that's fun and it's great. But I'm actually at heart a very melodic composer. That's the kind of music I love listening to, and that's the kind of music I love writing. That's the kind of music I got to work on in Until Dawn. Very nice. Same thing.
Every time it pisses you off, take a drink. Every time White Day breaks immersion due to overcomplicating things, drink. If you do that rule in Dark Souls, you might not be standing at the end of the day, Lambo. In Before Spook just says a straw going to his bottle and drinking constantly. You know what? You fucking know what? I think that's probably going to be the next thing. But like, I almost wish that there was a way that I could set up Discord, so while I'm streaming, I could do it. Like, I wish there was a way of doing that, because fucking... that is something that just wound me up so badly with that game. Just like, oh, fucking hell. Every time White Day proceeds to just be a complete cunt, you know, just fucking like, yeah, you know what, fuck it. Also, who's this? What in hell's name? And bringing it to life. Ooh, okay. Right, stage to screen, these are all new. You don't usually drink liquors. Yeah, fucking hell.
My name is Will Biles, Executive Creative Director of Until Dawn.
Words are hard.
The first part of getting a believable facial performance in-game is to capture...
I would do that for White Day, just like as soon as the game starts pissing me off, I'd be like, oh yeah, fuck it, take a fucking sip.
Versions of the same head. Every tiny nuance gets digitized and...
Like, here's the thing, I can play a game, even if the game is bad, I will still give that game a chance. Because I think, well, people have worked on this, people have tried, people have, you know, done the thing, you know, and it's very, very important that people, like, kind of respect that in some way. But that game just felt like every time I was trying to think, like, oh, here's a creative way of making it a bit better. No. The game was like it was fighting against doing something good.
Drive the expressions captured.
Even trying to be creative, like maybe they could have done this, maybe they could have done that. Like we say here, Matt would have been a better character to see a lot more of, and Jessica as well.
There are fewer interpretations
but
between performance captured
we didn't see any of that.
Finally in game.
And it just...
two separate Lavalier mics attached to the helmet. It takes a while.
You know, like that White Day was just fighting against...
around the recording devices and the helmet cams.
You haven't really figured out a good drinking game for me to do on
similar
either.
to any other effects shoot or a green screen shoot. The actors in these
I
scenes
think
are
one of these
only
days,
recording
like, it's a
fake
shame that we have, like,
but use cursory
it's a
body
shame that
movements
we've
to
literally got a server
Wait,
that
and maybe we
we've...
should all stick together and find everybody and make sure they're all okay. So
1-1, the year before the prank. Take 2, Mark.
The year before the prank, take 1. The year before the prank,
Other
so there's an
than the
entire
other
year before the
actors,
prank
they have to
starts.
use
My
their
god.
imagination for
You know, like, there's Drunk
everything and
Minecraft.
everywhere
Is
that
it,
they're supposed to be seeing and
isn't Man of Medan meant to be like a sequel to the game Monopoly? Oh, fucking hell.
From a hot midday studio in Los Angeles to a freezing midnight mountain in British Columbia.
It's supposed to be a sort of similar game, but the trouble is that, from what I'm hearing, it's made by the same company, but it's lacking a lot of the heart that works for this game that made this one work. Also, this is all new to me, so... You know, drink anytime plays +4. I don't want to die, thank you.
Because Until Dawn has a dynamic, ever-changing story, the facial performances and the body performances are recorded separately, with different systems.
I like the way they did the gun recoil.
With the body capture, we use reflective bead suits and an infrared camera matrix system that drives the CG bone hierarchies in our character models. These performances cover everything from character locomotion, scene-specific performances and stunt work, most of which was recorded at studios in Pinewood and Shepperton, near London.
Hannah! Hello?
Combining all the elements seamlessly in the final game becomes a formidable editing and logistical task. Every variation, both physical and emotional, must be combined in these multi-edits.
Poor dude was way hungover the next day. Oh, jeez.
Scaffolding props have to stand in for the sets, because the hundreds of infrared cameras have to be able to see all of the reflective beads on the actor.
That's interesting. I just wanted to share this one very quickly and everything. Is like, if you watch, look how they did the recoil. They literally had Mike holding a piece of pipe or a like replica weapon and then hitting the end of it with a cushion. Just watch.
Because Until Dawn has a dynamic, ever-changing story,
There you go.
the facial performances and the body performances are recorded.
I don't know. I just thought that was ridiculously neat. I just thought it was just like, that's how you do the recoil. You have someone hitting the end of the gun, and it gives you the same recoil effect. Like, I never would have thought of doing that, so that's something for me to remember, because this is something that I wanted to sort of say to you guys, by the way, and I'm kind of glad that I kept the stream going, because it's reminded me. I will be working on making some 3D models and such at some point. Once I get everything sorted out with my car and such, I'm going to start back up with my, like, productions and everything. I might pick up Spirit Radio again. That's a very big ask. That's a very big thing for me to approach again, because that was a big project. That was my baby. That was something that I worked on for quite a long time. And I have been very, I've been debating it. I've really been debating going back to it and everything. And I think, look, I'm 8 episodes in. I said that I wanted to get up to at least 15 episodes. Cough, cough, I have to make a call. Cough, cough. But I will be trying to get that started back up. I will be obviously looking for voice actors. I'll be looking for anyone who wants to read one of the stories, obviously, if you want to be a part of it. But I'm going to at least try and see if I can finish up the amount of stories that I've got. Because unlike last time where I was writing one every month, I was trying to like get stories finished, get them written, get them voiced. I want to finish all the stories, get them all written, get them all typed up, get them all like assigned to each episode, and then go through and basically record them in advance and start again, like releasing one every month. Like, even if they're pre-recorded and just set to be released at a certain time. But at the same time that I'll be doing Spirit Radio, I also want to look at... Sorry, I got really bad acid reflux at the moment, but every time I'm I want to work on my animations. I want to work on my animatics. I want to see what I can create, and I want to use that to sort of get back in the swing of creating things, because 2020 has been the year of me sort of taking... It might sound weird when you think how much I'm streaming and everything. It's been the year of me taking kind of like a back seat. It's been the year of me relaxing and like streaming, obviously, but not focusing too much on my projects, like thinking and designing, but not, you know, going through with it. But yeah, it is time. Lambo, you are actually 100% correct. It's time to create, and I feel like I'm getting that. I'm getting that creative like mindset back of like, I want to do something, I want to create something, and I'm just sort of, you know, I'm just debating how to go about it. But yeah, it will take some time, and it will take some, you know, it won't be impressive right off the bat. You know, I'm not going to be able to just drop a video and it's like, oh yeah, it's like fucking Has-Been Hotel levels of quality. I'll be like, oh yes, I'll just drop this and it'll be fantastic. It'll take time, and I want to build up some interest in the characters. I want to build up some interest in the stories. But when it's done, you know, like while I'm doing it and everything, I'll be like updating them and uploading them, sharing them on my my Patreon as well. Maybe even getting a chance to showcase some of it during specialist streams here, where I'll just be like, hey guys, this is a time where I can talk about my characters and talk about my projects and talk about what's going on, and show some of the artwork and some of the designs, and to let people sort of get involved with it. You know, like I've realised that getting people involved before the story's really started is something that's important. So we'll see how that comes about. We'll see what that ends up looking like. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled, because that is something that I'm definitely going to be working on. Also, what in hell's name?
America's Northwoods border region. Within this land of 10,000 lakes and miles of dense timber, a hideous creature is believed to lurk.
The Northwoods is probably one of the last frontiers in America. There's still a lot of places in this area that hasn't been set foot by man. Monsters and mysteries exist here because it is remote.
Up in the Northwoods, winters are long.
Ooh, Crater,
In
please
times
keep
of
us updated on
cold
that.
and isolation, a devouring monster is believed to come forth. It's terrorized native people for generations.
Growing up, I was told, like, don't go outside, the Wendigo will get you.
Among the traditions of the northern Algonquin tribes is the Wendigo, a monster that can seize hold of a person to carry out its hunger for human flesh.
Many Native Americans fear even talking about this Wendigo, and even the mention of the name will let the Wendigo find out where you are, and it will open you up to be possessed by this Wendigo.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The most famous case of a Wendigo possession took place in 1879. In the deep woods outside of Edmonton, Alberta. Swift Runner, a Cree Indian, was a trapper and a guide. He had left town the previous autumn with his wife, 6 children, and his mother. But when Swift Runner returned in spring, he was alone.
Swift Runner came into a nearby village telling this heartbreaking tale.
I had to watch them starve to death.
Of his family being killed by starvation, and that he was the only survivor.
My whole family gone.
It wasn't hard to understand a family falling victim to a brutal winter.
To even not.
Yet something was suspicious about Swift Runner.
He was a strapping man, and he came into town weighing over 200 pounds. It didn't look like somebody who had just weathered a terrible winter. He wasn't malnourished, didn't look like he was starving. He looked healthier than ever.
Oh yeah, I forgot Wendigo's in the SMT series.
After a few nights, it became clear that something was wrong.
He started having night terrors, screaming in his sleep.
I am the Wendigo.
Villagers alerted the police.
Swift Runner actually guided them back to his winter cabin. When they got there, that's when they saw the true horror. Human skulls were scattered around. Many bones, some of which had been snapped in half, and the marrow inside had been drained. They had never seen anything like it. Swift Runner had killed his entire family, shooting them, hitting them with an axe, strangling, and then eating most of their bodies.
Right up until the moment the noose was on his neck, Swift Runner swore the evil spirit of the Wendigo had possessed him and twisted him into a cannibal killer.
When he was on the gallows, Swift Runner himself said, "I am no longer a man."
Methinks Swift Runner might have been a little bit, like, out of his, out of his freaking head at some point. Frankenstein's monster could be. Yeah, there's so many different cryptids out there. You just realised a thing. What was it that you realised there, Lambo? What was the thing that you realised? Speak to me with your words. Also, I just realised I've been sitting here just quietly drinking away at this energy drink, and I forgot that I put like fucking half a bottle of scotch in it. It doesn't have any cryptids apart from the Yeti, Mothman, Wendigo, and the Jersey Devil, though technically you do have Ogopogo, but that's Canada. In the first law series, my first law is not to devour the flesh of another man. Or was it the second law? But, yeah, there are a few good cryptids, but the thing is like, this is something that I noticed when it comes to a lot of lore and everything. You don't eat human flesh in the other one, so never talk to the demons. But, if you look at, like, a lot of Japanese ghosts and everything, Japanese ghosts will do horrible things, but a lot of the times they can be avoided. Look at European ghosts and how many times they will, like not European ghosts, European creatures, and they'll kill you. And then look at the other ones for, like, America as well. They will have these cryptids, these horrible monsters and everything, but look how many times in Europe it's always a case of vampires will kill you, werewolves will kill you, zombies will kill you. A lot of the times there'll be other ones like in Japan where they don't kill you, but, like, you've got to deal with the fact that, they're pretty fucking horrifying. There's a large array of yokai that don't kill you. Or they're creatures like the Moshuvu, which is the ghost of a drowned girl that usually appears either in the form of a small bird or appears with bird-like features. Appears most commonly in the Persona and Devil Summoner games. And also like the Domodye, which is a location spirit from Russia. Spirits that live in the house and they make things go right unless they are provoked. They usually take the form of a large old man in the corner of the house. But they are good fortune spirits, effectively. So there's so many things that are out there, and I just find it kind of funny that, Japan is weird about that, like the Suicide Woods. There are rules about that place, like not to take anything from there, etc., so don't rob from the dead. Exactly, like, there's grave robbing and everything. But, like, whereas a lot of the time in those kind of countries, like Russia and Asia and places like that, it would be a case of, like, reverence, otherwise you'll pay the consequences for it. In Europe, it was always, you'll die, and it's like, everything. It kind of feels like Europe's, like, creatures, the ones that are very similar to the ones from, like, Japan and such, and from, like, Asian-based lore, always seems to be that it's going to kill you, or eat you, or do something. There's an awful lot of death and murder floating around in those fucking laws. And it's weird. But, yes, bringing it to life then. Okay, what do we got here? Well, yeah, but it's always like, you don't have to tell your children it's going to kill you.
What you're up against being back on this mountain. You should never have returned. friend Beth?
Yeah, how could you know without being involved?
I don't take kindly to you kids coming up here to my mountain.
Your mountain.
The mountain don't belong to me, it's true. But it don't belong to the Washingtons. This mountain belongs to the Wendigo.
Hi, this is Lee Robinson, production designer at Supermassive Games. Understanding the ancient myths of the Wendigo was key for their development that helped the visual look. Through sketches and concepts, these elements were visualized, such as eyes being milky, almost dead, with loss of lips and eyelids due to frostbite, fangs growing and arms and legs getting longer, with skin hardening and thickening to look snarling and menacing, yet withered and lean.
What the hell was that? Another fucking piece of...
Fingers and toenails extending like claws, allowing them to climb effortlessly. We made them look gaunt and weathered, and having ragged remains of clothes they wore. Blood-stained and rotten, with patches of hair still remaining, they retained strong skeletal limbs, which enabled them to be agile and quick through the environment.
Where are you?
My name is Jamie Gallipo, animation director at Supermassive.
The only creature that doesn't kill us Krampus, I'll be this German who punches away.
The overall direction on the creature was to be very strong, to be extremely fast. We wanted a spider-like movement to the creature. 1 minute scampering to leaping and then crawling, almost instantaneous. And finally, we wanted the creature to have this real, uncontrollable thirst for flesh.
From a sound design perspective, the Wendigo is a real challenge. For the main vocalizations of the Wendigo, we used our own vocalizations, various different animals from the exotic to the farmyard, various plugins and processes to gel these sounds together and keep a human resonance behind that voice, telling the backstory of the Wendigo. During the chase sequences, the anger of the Wendigo is felt by encircling breaths, screams and screeches that essentially chase you as you're being chased by the Wendigo.
Oh, that's if you got Sam. That's if you got chased down to her underwear. So, God, she. Woo.
We would layer them up in a multitude of layers, sometimes 15, 20 sounds playing at the same time, to build up the vocalizations for this fearsome creature, which is always in attack mode, hyperactive, and chasing you throughout the game.
I honestly think that Jessica and Matt would get together, to be honest. I think they've got more chance with a relationship in a weird way. But also, if you're talking about like vampires and things like that and everything, there's the Russian vampire, which is the I can never pronounce it, but the Vieszcy, which is Vieszcy. Neontota, which is a type of vampire that brings plagues. The Dracul, which obviously, you know, most people know as is like an animated corpse or Dracula. And then there's the Nachzeher, the Nachzeher, which would eat its own burial shroud and sit on its crypt with one eye closed and holding one thumb with the other hand. With the hand of the other, sorry. Like, you know, just be like holding its own thumb. Wordalac. No, Wordalac. Vieszcy. I remember my friend having this like handbook for witchcraft or something like that. I mean, there was also the Moroni, which was a German type that could change its forms and such. But that's just the kind of like vampires. I'm honestly not gonna lie. I'm very, very rusty on my vampires. But then there was also like some vampires that were like. There was. I haven't heard of it personally, though I know very little about Russian folklore, surprisingly. Then there was also like in Mexico. There was the Sevateto, which are the ghosts of women who died in childbirth. They stole babies to eat in revenge. And they're like witch-type creatures. But they're often like... They are kept at bay with gatherings left at crossroads and with offerings of blood, if I remember correctly. But yeah, like there's all kinds of like different creatures out there and everything. There's even vampires from the jungle, if I remember correctly. Werewolves as well. I'm actually reminding myself because I was there was a notebook that I once had. Again, like it's ghosts was my speciality, but I try and make sure that I always try and keep some sort of recognition of all kinds, because you never know when it's going to pop up and everything. Like again, like with the Wendigo, you know, like my knowledge there proved to be pretty useful, because when I saw the symbol I was like, Wendigo, which kind of put me on the path of thinking like, oh hey, there's 2 stories running on here. And it'd be interesting to see how that would work. Laupgaro, Pontiac was I think the name. Harmless, it's just a ghost that appears to let people know that the ceremony for the funeral hasn't yet been completed. Can you remember what law that's from? Because I don't actually recognise that name. I'll have to double check it. But I'm also saying, like, I say that in a way of like that doesn't mean that you're wrong. It just means that I might know it by a different name, because of like, it's like how Black Shuck and the Bargus are technically both the black dog, you know, or a hellhound. They're both different definitions of it and everything. It's a localization thing. The Bargus is the name given it to in the Yorkshire and like Low Scotland area. But yeah, it's the same as Black Shuck, which is another ghost. It's another type of like hellhound type big large dog. Loup-garou is just the French word for werewolf. Oh, okay, fair enough. In Caribbean islands, there's some vultures that I remember about called the loups-garous, which is a fucking great name. The loups-garous, it's kind of demon. Can't remember, sorry if I'll demon on Discord if I find out where you find anything. No, it's fine. Like, believe me, honestly, thank you so much for that, like, Baz. I really appreciate that. Like, I always like to try and make sure that I can keep myself educated on that kind of stuff. But I know in Portugal there was also the Bruaxes. The Bruax, which is Bruxas, which is a female vampire that flew out in the form of a bird. Obviously Dampier, everyone knows about those. Brazil had the Jaracaca, which is a vampire in the form of a snake. The Bruax. It's probably that exact same one that they've used. There's also the Mara, which is a Danish vampire that was a woman during the day. Anyone who fell in love with her would suffer terrible feelings of suffocation and strangulation, but she could be frightened away by a knife, so that literally could just be a woman that someone goes, "Ooh, look, a knife," and she's like, "Ah, shit, no, fuck, I'm out of here, man. I'm only 500." Whatever that one is and everything. I'm trying to remember what the other ones were as well. Like, I can think of South African ones. That doesn't work. A fine lady you'd find at a street corner. Oh, why would you ever find a fine lady at a street corner, Lambo? I don't know why you would ever find someone along those lines. Chupacabras, yeah. Some people say that chupacabras are a different kind. They're like closer to a werebeast, like depending on your categorization for them and everything. But I think that they're vampires because they do feed on like blood and goat and things like that and everything. So I personally would say like, yeah, no, that works. But yeah, there was Vraikolakis is another one. In Greek vampire legends, this ugly creature is the corpse of an evil man brought to life by a demon. The Raikalakas sat on its sleeping victim and killed them by suffocation. Skogsra, beautiful woman in the woods with a foxtail and hollowed-out back that will seduce men and drown them. So it's a wombat. The funny thing, Elite Ray, is that if anyone gets a chance sometime in the 2000s, the House of Mystery had a comic run where instead of collecting a whole bunch of like unconnected stories, it had a bunch of horrors together, but it had one very, very graphic story like at the very beginning. Like its first story is basically a woman falling in love with a giant insect that proceeds to being blunt, eat her insides out, but she doesn't know this, and the back of her is completely hollow, so she keeps eating and eating and eating, and all the food just keeps falling out the back like something out of a really morbid-ass cartoon, and I'm just like, oh, okay, when you said hollowed out and everything, I'm just like, oh. Yeah. So yeah, boy, that was a thing. Although, technically speaking, Lambo, like, maybe, I don't know, I don't want to know, but yeah, there's just, also, by the way, fucking hell, I'm also, like, I'm only quarter of an hour from when I would usually be finishing. Like, that's so weird. I've technically been streaming just by sitting and talking and chilling and relaxing with people. A back hollow like a baking trough, yeah. That's exactly the same thing, Elite Ray. So I'm thinking that might have been the source of inspiration. But yeah, I just think I think it's been really nice to just sort of sit and chill. And even though there's a game playing on in the background, it's been nice to just talk to people, and that's something that I have kind of missed. I've kind of missed the more social interaction with people. And I think part of that is myself as a streamer. Like, I've delved so much into, like, oh, what kind of scary, spooky games can I play? What kind of things can I do? Selecting episodes to replay and change the story. That'll be neat to do one day. View the objects collected so far in your current status. Because that was the twins. 60. I've missed some clues, and I'm saddened by that, because I really would have liked to have kept them. Because those ones, I believe, are all connected to just the twins themselves. Save the doggo. Yeah, true. That's one I could try and do. Though those Sogroska do remind you of the Korean Gumiho, a fox spirit that seduces men by looking like a regular human. Though in order for them to be completely human, they have to eat tons of hearts or livers to do so. Though if they can resist from doing so, they become human in that way too. That's interesting. So it's basically a case of do you binge and get that to have happen, or do you change? Do you resist and change? That's interesting. And anyone who knows me will know that when I talk about like one of my OCs called Kumi, she's a kitsune, and she has a great fondness for humans. So there is, you know, like she's a character that at some point I want to clarify, by the way, that when I was talking about my own projects and my own animations and such, Kumi and Ren will not be a part of that. It's not that I don't want to, it's just that I feel like their story does not transition well to 3D. They work better as 2D animated characters that I wanted to do, because you can be a lot more stylized with the way that they move. With a 3D model, you can't have that sort of stylization, and I do that with forced perspective, interesting dynamics. If you've ever seen a chance, if you've ever had a chance to catch a glimpse of the way that in Hellsing sometimes Alucard will be drawn, or Walter or Anderson, they will draw them with very like large, long, gangly limbs, but it carries such an overblown feeling of force and power behind what they're doing, or it looks more unnatural. And that's kind of what I like doing, and why I kind of do that sort of stuff, because of the fact that, you know, it's something that is it's just something that I feel like lends a lot more to it. And I won't be able to do that with 3D figures. I won't be able to do that properly with 3D figures. I would have to, it can be done, but not in the way that I'm picturing it. The way I'm having to animate it now, the way I would have to animate anything, is very much like the series RWBY, which was done by Rooster Teeth, which I'm not a particularly big fan of. Before anyone starts jumping and saying, "Oh my goodness, you watched RWBY?" Yeah, I did. I thought it was the biggest example of watching an independent company completely sell out and become a bunch of garbage. And to the point that the writers themselves are now literally copying shit from like other franchises. They have a character called Neo getting into a fight, and they ripped off the fight of Neo versus Cinder in a tea room. Cinder and Neo have a fight in a bar/tea room, and it's practically an exact duplicate of the fight between Seraphim and Neo from the second Matrix movie. And I'm like, you think you're being clever, but you're not. And because of the way that those models are animated and rigged and such, I want to do something along. I'm thinking I'm going to have to do something along those lines, because when I was doing the animation, the reason why it started, being honest and opening up to you guys a little bit and everything, I've spoken about this in Discord, but I want to kind of go on record and say this now, because like in a Discord it's private, it's separate and everything. When I did the animation, it's because I wanted to support a lot of independent creators. I wanted to support a lot of Dead Fantasy. I did know of Dead Fantasy, and I very much loved the idea, but I did not see this. I did not see the second one. No, the second one that you just mentioned. But I did see Dead Fantasy because I was seeing a lot of artwork of Tifa Lockhart, and I was like, and Renoa getting redesigned, and that surprised me. But going back on record is that I started my animations because I wanted to tell a story that was my own. I was sick and tired of sitting around just twiddling my fingers, waiting for someone else to help me out. So what I did instead was I wanted to support independent creators, artists, writers, and I wanted to work with them. Well, not so much the writers, because like obviously I was still going to put the effort in that regards. But there was an awful lot of artists that I wanted to help, and if I go to one artist and say, I just need you to draw the hands from this character, some people would say like, is that it? You just need me to draw hands? And I would say, I just need you to draw hands. And then I would cut to someone else, and I would say, hey, excuse me, can you draw the hair of this character? And then I would come to another person, and I would say, hey, can you draw the face of this character? And by going through in pieces and then bringing it together, you get different kinds of line art styles, which means that the hair takes on a different texture to the skin. If you get an artist that's very, very good at fine line drawing for the face, but then you get someone that does very messy sketchings to draw the hair, and then you get someone to draw very sketchy, scribbly lines for the clothes, by bringing them together you end up creating the appearance of textures on clothing and hair because they look so different. Well, because of that, I was going to be able to commission a larger amount of artists to do something. Well, one artist who I can't name because of the fact that it would be, it's libels, slander and things like that, so I can't name them here. And if you know who I'm talking about, please don't mention them in the chat. But they basically dragged their feet and they took all the attention onto themselves. And they were very much a case of, oh no, I want to do they said that they wanted to do everything, and then they didn't do any of it, which meant that I was sitting for the best part of a year waiting for them to do anything. And it's just come to a point where I'm like, look, in the future I would love to support more artists to do this, but I just want to be able to tell a story. I want to tell a story, I want to promote a story, I want the story to be made, and with what I was paying lots of separate artists, I would rather pay one artist or one model maker and have one model created that I can use and learn how to rig it and do motion capture if I need to, things like that, instead of just instead of just relying on the 2D form. And if I can learn how to do that, that will also be something that can be, useful in other ways. People could ask me, people could say like, oh hey, can you do this, can you do that? If I could get to a point where people could do rigging for like here, imagine I'm sitting here doing a stream, and you can literally see a 3D icon Spook Suit, like an avatar talking as I'm playing horror games and everything. So you can actually sort of semi-see my reactions and everything. That's something that I would like to look into. I would like to look into doing more of those. You know how you feel wanting to tell a story you work on in your own project, though you're only a decent story writer, thinking about looking for the talented individuals. Well, if you ever want to commission an artist, Creator Draws, who you've seen in the stream, is a wonderful artist, and he does accept commissions. And if you ever wanted to even if you just want to do, I will say this as a creator, even if it's just one picture of one of your characters, just one picture, it's always something to look back on, and it's always something to sort of say, I can see them now. Also, Amoeba Artstorm. Yes, Amoeba Artstorm. I think Amoeba's Artstorms are open. The only thing you'd have to ask is, the only thing you'd have to provide is references, some description. Like, even if you just have to, say with Ogami aren't technically open, go with Emmy first. Your comms aren't technically open. But like I said, Crater, you're still there though. Like, as another option as well. Like, if needed, don't sell yourself short and everything. Remember, you need to be earning the monies so you can tell a certain someone that sprays water on you and turns off your internet to go away nicely. Are you good putting a link in this chat, or should you send you the wiki page over Discord? If you could send it to me over Discord, please, Baz, I'd very, very much appreciate that. Just because I can't, if it's a wiki link, I can't regulate what kind of content's referred in my stream chat. If it's a link to an image, I don't mind, because that's just an image, but like, I've learned that there's some people that have linked to wiki articles that have gotten streamers in troubles because of what's mentioned. Like, there was someone who linked something to the guy that played Kramer in Seinfeld. He put a link up to his chat, and as a result of that, there was the moment where he had the breakdown on Laugh Factory, and he said some very offensive and racist things that was like so fucking so fucking bang out of order because they weren't called for. And because he had that tirade and it was on the wiki, and the streamer didn't take it down, like, they got kind of funny with them. They gave them like a warning or something, and they were just like, hey, don't be, we got a notification that people were being asked. It is indeed. It is Upgrade CEO on Creator's server. It is indeed. That's my nickname. But let's have a look then, see. But yeah, like, I'll be working harder on trying to. I'm thinking all of these, like that one there, that one there, that one there, that one there, all these ones and everything might be connected to when I failed that QuickTime event. You remember when I had to stay still as Sam? I feel like a lot of these are what was missing. So also could be that someone is dead and someone has to fill a dialogue or something. Yeah, that's true. That is very, very true. If certain characters are killed off early, like, that's probably why the ending took so long, because I had to let everyone get out the house. Like, Ashley had to get out the house, Chris had to get out the house, Emily had to get out the house. If they were all dead, I literally could have just freaking bailed as Sam, or I could have even just run out as Sam and let Mike die. And the who gets the gun butterfly, because I want to know what kind of gun that is and everything. I'm thinking that might be something to do with the, looking back on it now, it might have something to do with the fire tower, the ranger station. Because I remember distinctly I was looking around for everything. I went outside, I turned on the power, but then I ran right inside. And because I ran right inside, I didn't explore and look around, so I'm thinking it might have had something to do with that, because it's the only place I can think of, because that's the only place where I just sort of like skipped ahead, because I didn't know that the fucking tower was going to collapse on me. Also, I hopped down in the mines as Sam. That's right, Lambo. You're right. You remembered that. Yes, there was a point where I went left and I jumped down as Sam after I got the shovel because I wanted to go right and check the end of the minecart. Yeah, also, you hopped down at the point where you jumped off the ledge with Sam by mistake. Which one was that one? I can't remember when I jumped off the ledge. What was the other one? What was the other one? Was it? I'm trying to think. There was another one that I screwed up with. But yeah, because of the fact that I didn't do the stay still one and I failed with Sam when Josh / the Psycho was coming after me, I didn't get a chance to explore anything else. Yeah, there you go. Like it was that one. Also, guys, I just wanted to let you know, by the way, it just hit 2 o'clock on my time. So although the game literally finished like practically an hour in, not even an hour in really since I started streaming, this has basically just been me padding it out as much as possible because I didn't really want to start Those Left Behind, because although that's a very good game, I didn't want to have to stop the stream and start the stream. I don't even know how long that game will be. So potentially what I may do is either start that game from the beginning again now that I know how to get through those opening bits a bit quicker. Lidre, thank you so much for the 100 bits. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. But yeah, tomorrow I just want to double check something with someone. I might be doing more Minecraft. Potentially might be going into the group server. Potentially might not be. Potentially might just be staying in my own because I keep getting annoyed that I've got a crafting table. Sorry, that I've got an enchanting table in the shared server, and I don't have one in my own like little Twitch allocated world, as it were, even though I've got that entire fucking mine down there. But because all I need is some more diamonds. If I can find like 2 more diamonds, I'll be happy. Because I've got like I want to create like fucking bedrock and shit. I want to be not bedrock. I want to be creating like it's not bedrock. What's the other one? Obsidian. Once I can create some obsidian, then I can start work on really making a I can start work on making a portal, just so that way I can start exploring the Nether and then like tidying up the house and doing shit like that. The other thing that I wanted to say though is that a bit earlier on, I think it was sometime like before I started Until Dawn, I did buy Firewatch, which I hear is another good game. It's a first-person sort of experience. Don't know how well it'll run on my PC. Don't know if it'll run on my PC. Should run on my PC. But I just want to let you guys know that that is another game that I will have lined up in the future. So you've got Firewatch, you've got Those Left Behind, and obviously I still have White Day. But White Day I want to make more of an experience for drinking and just partying and just like... because it's not really grabbing me much as a horror. You never know. You never know. It could turn around and completely surprise me. White Day, more like White Eyes Drunk Day, yeah, kind of thing, yeah. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming by. Thank you so much for dropping by into the stream and everything. I'll be lurking around on Discord for a while. And just again, thank you so much for coming by. Alright, thank you so much for everything. And I will see you guys in the next stream. Thank you so much. You all take safe, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.